The September 8th meeting of the Riverside Township Board of Trustees will come to order. Please rise. And Trustee Lupfer, will you lead us in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Our agenda, would the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Clark?
Present.
Trustee Drapka?
Present and accounted for.
Trustee Lupfer?
Present.
Supervisor Wilt?
Present.
Let the record note, Trustee Hollenbach is out of the, not in attendance, and that Clerk Blau is in attendance.
Thank you. You have before you the minutes of the August 11th Board of Trustees meeting. What is your pleasure?
Motion to approve the minutes.
I have a motion by Trustee Clark to approve. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
I have a second by Trustee Lupfer. I noticed a couple of really minor things like typos. I believe that Trustee Heilenbach's name was misspelled in one spot. The I and the E were reversed, but now I won't be able to find it.
I'll check it through and,
Yes.
and correct it.
Yes. And under the supervisor's report, it says the painting of the bridge is being put out for bid. That makes it sound like it was already in progress. It will be. I'm working with the firm to get an agreement for them to manage that whole process.
Okay.
So it will be. And I don't think there was anything else. Were there any other additions or corrections?
Oh, it's under trustee reports where Heilenbach's name is spelled wrong.
Thank you. I know that I marked it
Sure,
and then I
sure.
couldn't find it. So under trustees' reports,
On page 3, it's where that,
there it is.
yeah.
Just right under trustees' reports where,
I see it.
yes.
And that's a,
And that's all I found. Thank you very much. If there's no other additions or corrections, all in favor signify by aye.
aye.
Aye. All opposed, nay.
Nay.
No.
Just
Motion,
oh,
motion to accept the minutes of the August 11th meeting is carried. Okay, next order of business is communications. I'm sorry, Clerk Blau, are there any communications?
None.
Okay, thank you. Any public comments? The assessor like to give us a few words?
Good evening, Frances Sikowitz. I'm here as the Township Assessor to give you an update on what's going on upstairs. The official appeal period with the Board of Review has ended, and we have to say everyone took our new procedures really well. We didn't get too many complaints. But I have to say, I identify with teachers because we spent a lot of time with people on the phone, taking them step by step. And most of these people, of course, they were apprehensive to file an appeal online. They've always come to our office, and we sat and we did their appeal together. So when they accomplished this huge task on their own with just a phone call with us, they were very happy. So it was we always celebrated each one. So it was a lot of fun. But I do want to say that when the newsletter goes out, we do get increases in phone calls and visits. So those newsletters are very helpful to remind people that we're still here. And I think a lot of people were distracted this year. We, of course, there's a lot of things to distract us. So we wound up helping about 537 taxpayers file appeals. So it was busy. And then I found out Friday that due to some legal complications at the assessor's office, they have to reassess about 1,500 Riverside properties. So there'll be notices going out, which means we're going to have another appeal period with the Board of Review for about 2 weeks. Because when the assessor's office sends out a correction, they're going out as corrected assessments, by law, they have to have an appeal period. So the Board of Review is going to open up for an appeal period over a 2-week period of time, which means we could take any other appeals as well at that time. So we're going to have a third appeal period this year. And so, which will be okay. I talked to Dan Patlick about it.
But that will be strictly a Board of Review appeal,
Yes.
not a assessor's?
Yes, the assessor is making the correction, an error of correction, I think they're calling it, but they're leaving it to the Board of Review to work out with the taxpayer.
Okay.
Yeah, so, so that will be happening, I think, probably at the end, by the end of October, maybe beginning of November.
So if your property was assessed incorrectly, you would get a notice
Yes.
in the mail?
Yes.
Okay.
And they've told me it's going to involve about 1,500 parcels.
How many
in
parcels do
Riverside.
we have altogether?
We have 6,000.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, that's a
So that's a
fourth.
quarter of them.
I know. I'm hoping they'll tell me which parcels they are, so I can help these people right away. Because
So
most
they made
people,
the error in assessing them too high.
I don't know what they did. I haven't gotten too much information, except that you're going to be open for appeals.
Okay.
So I'm waiting to get more information from the assessor's office to see. I imagine most of them are too high, but I bet there's some that might be too low. So, or vice versa. I think most of them are going to be that they assess them too low, and a few probably too high in there. Usually, there's always some outliers that come along with a bunch of, the typicals. So, of course, nothing, no downtime, not too many breaks for us up there. So, but that's about it. We continue to help people with certificates of error with all the moving that's going on. People are listing their houses and realizing they never applied for exemptions, so we're doing a lot of that. And people miss coming to the office. We get phone calls just because people call to chat. They miss coming in. So it's interesting. It's been an interesting year.
Did your change of phone systems
We did.
impair or help?
So
in
the
process.
change in phone system was kind of an ongoing thing while this is going on, and we had to keep interrupting the process because of power outages, and then Comcast was having a hard time figuring out how they were going to wire us up. So we had what was supposed to take, a couple days dragged out to be the whole month, really, of August, until we finally got our phone system up and running, I think, like last week. So now we have the phone system ready to go, and we're going to be more flexible. We'll be able to take calls at home and make calls from my cell phone, but it'll come through the as the Township Assessor instead of from my personal cell phone. And so, but we're learning how to use it. So, which we'll have a little bit of a downtime, I think, that we could just focus on learning how to use the new system and how we're going to implement it in our procedures.
Great.
So, yeah, so that's what's going on.
Thank you. Any questions
you.
for the assessor? Not? Thank you very much. We
Thanks.
appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And put your feet up for a couple of days. Okay. I don't see anybody else for additional public comment. I will reserve any comments, I will deal with things that are on the agenda later, but I do want to just comment, I agree that the newsletter had a great impact. We had an uptick right after that of activity. We did restart the movies. The first week we had one person show up, but the newsletter had just come out, and that person actually saw a flyer at the farmer's market. So the second week, for the first time in all the years we've done it, we had nobody show up. And then the third week we had 4. So, people are starting to come out, and, the chairs are set up just this way, and we use the big screen. So hopefully it creates a diversion for some residents. We did, after the newsletter, had a number of inquiries about general assistance and emergency assistance. Some were not qualified, but I was able to refer them to other places that could help them with their particular issues. And then we also had an uptick in food pantry participation after the newsletter. Every time we publicize something, more people become aware of it. Let's see, we also had calls on other services. We had an uptick in nurse's closet, and we had additional requests for notary services as well. So, yeah, I agree that the newsletters always are helpful in making people aware of what we can offer them. Trustees' reports. Trustee Clark, do you have something for us?
I do not today.
Okay. Trustee Drapka?
I do not have a report.
How about Trustee Lupford?
I do not.
Okay, can be a quick meeting. And the Mental Health Board, you have their agenda for their upcoming meeting, and in your packet is also a updated list with contact information. So there's nothing to report. They haven't met during the summer. Their first meeting after the summer break will be a week from tomorrow. Okay. Unfinished business, so here I will tell you that on the swinging bridge repairs with the holiday and everybody's still finishing up their summer mode, people have been on vacations and so forth, so I am waiting for a proposal for the same architectural firm who inspected it and pointed out what needs to be done to give me a proposal for actually administering the bid process and so forth. I had hoped I'd have that, but I don't yet. Similarly, the inspection of the town hall building was done, but the written report has not been presented yet. There were a couple of questions that they reached out for, so there are matters of, I know that they're going to make comments on tuck pointing needs and such, and also on roof repairs, and I'm not really sure what else is going to be there, but they've promised me sometime this week I should have the first report from them. So I will keep you posted when I hear more.
Can we make sure they get all this water?
Well, exactly, that is part of it, yeah. So we need to repair the outer
Yeah.
wall in order to then address the inner wall. But they were inside and inspecting, and there will be reports on that as well. Any other questions on either of those items?
Well, question, I don't know if that was part of your report, or I'm questioning what's in the cornerstone and the time capsule.
Well, that will be part of, I think, a process. The problem has been to get somebody out for such a small
Sure.
project. So I'm sure that tuck pointing is going to be at least repairs will probably need to be done before winter, and that's going to need to be put in so that the water doesn't accumulate in
yep.
there, freeze, expand, and
Right.
crush it. So I expect that we'll be putting out maybe for a partial bid for immediate repairs, and then an overall project maybe in the spring.
Yeah, that's why I was questioning, because the winter's coming up and the
Right.
weather's already
Exactly.
changing, so I didn't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, so we do need to get that, but like I said, nobody wants to come out for one stone, and that's been a little bit of an issue, now that we've got it out. Okay, any other questions? All right, then. The other items, there's nothing really under new business unless you want me to put something on a future agenda, but I don't have anything for now. Under informational items, we have the report from Via Di Girardi regarding our website. I repeat again, when we've got few activities going on in the building, we're going to have fewer searches, but you will note that there was a surge right around the time that the newsletter came out of people checking out our website. And so you have the report of all the items that are going on. You can see on page 2 also that there have been ongoing issues with when something is posted that the organization that develops it can always see those new posts, and we cannot. So we always have to follow up, so they've had to manually clean up the cache each time, otherwise it just stays, for the rest of the world, it stays static. So they're addressing that issue, and there are so many things in certain areas, for example, the videos for our exercise classes, there are so many now that they want to create a separate library for those to be accessible separately, because it's starting to clutter up the website. And then, well, you can see, and then they're also going to create a written companion to go along with those exercise classes, an instructional item, just as they did with the videos that were done on the mental health. They created, basically, they put in the script for it, and so that's also accessible, so people can read it and don't have to watch it as well.
Vera?
Yes.
What does it mean creating a post page for each individual video session?
So we haven't met in person, and we just got this, but it's my understanding that each one will be kind of self-reliant, and it won't, I think that people won't have to dig so deep and go through a big process. You'll be able to pick up the post for a certain day. That's my understanding of it.
Great. Can I make some other comments about our website? I find it still a little hard to navigate. Like, I was looking for the mental health presentation on suicide, and I finally found it under news, but it was way down there.
Yeah.
And that is something that I think should be,
The newest thing has to be up, yeah.
Yeah,
That
you know,
that
and-
was the debate we had, because that was one of the things that we couldn't find. It's like, well, it's been posted. We know it's been posted. Where is it? We can't find it. If we can't find it, the public can't find it. So,
so
yes.
that is that. And then also the meeting cancellation notice for the meeting of the whole has 2 typos in it. And that is very embarrassing to me.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
that should be corrected, and those things should be proofread.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, the notices that we submit sometimes it loses in translation, so,
This is just something, there's apostrophe
yeah.
under the, past the 1 in September 1, and then at 6:30 PM is all smushed together. And those things, that apostrophe up in the air that shouldn't have been there
Right.
jumped out at me
Right.
immediately. As I said, that's very embarrassing to me
Thank you.
that
We'll address that, definitely.
we do that. And then also, can we take down some of the older things,
Yeah.
like the shred-a-thon from June 6th?
Right. Those are some of the things that we need to remove.
And then the other thing and this is just a very minor thing, it says we're planning to hold a shred-a-thon in September. I think instead of the word planning, it doesn't mean we have a date or anything like
So-
that.
And again, that's one of those, there's an old post, and the new flyer with all of it is actually up. But, there are conflicting things that aren't addressed when they put something up, so.
Right, and now, is that our responsibility to point out those things, or is it their responsibility, or is it a mixture of the two, or?
Well, I think part of the problem is that we haven't had the in-person meetings lately, because otherwise we thrash those things out. So it's communications by email, which don't always cut it as frequently. So I want to start social distance meetings and do them,
That'd be great.
even if
yeah.
we, however we need to do them.
And then my other thing is, I had a lot of time on my hands last week, so I went through things
Yes.
fairly thoroughly. So, gosh, it just went out of my mind what I was going to say about the website. So I'll tell you when it comes back to me.
Okay. Yeah, no, I apologize, and, you know, we've been trying to address different kinds of issues, so we've been a little lax in following up on that, so thank you for finding those errors, and we'll get a better handle on that.
Oh,
Anything?
I know what I was going to say. Are we renting any rooms at all, or is that all totally on hold?
So what we've been doing is strictly for meetings, and we're really selective about the size of a group and whether there's a room available for the necessary size. So for example, Lions Club, their executive committee is going to be meeting, but there was a little miscommunication, so we didn't know about it by the time they asked for it. For the number that they could potentially have, we said they have to be in room 30. They have to be on the third floor, which isn't a problem. But it's really been mostly only meetings, and now you'll see the next item, or one of the next items, is that the radio players are going to start rehearsing, but we still have held off on any rentals. Anybody who's inquired about an event, a party, or anything, you know, sometimes they've given us a number and they said, oh, but it might only be this little. Well, that means you're going to try to stretch to the higher number, and we understand that you may plan a party and fewer people come than you intended, but we have not been renting yet.
Okay. So should we put on the website where it says room rentals, should we put a notice that we're not doing this right now due to COVID things? Because the other meetings are nonprofit.
Right.
Right?
Right, they're either government meetings, I mean, the village has had a
Right, yeah.
variety of things, or they're nonprofit meetings, yes. Nothing has been,
So then I think it would be okay to put under the rental a little notice, you know.
Okay.
And I think that would save Andrew, who usually handles this, a lot of time and phone calls and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it's safe to rent them again, we can, you know, put out a, you know, on the front page, you know, the front page of our website, you know, we're renting again, we're renting rooms, or
okay.
town hall is available.
I appreciate that input, thank you. Yep, sounds like a good idea. Anything else? On the website? No? Then you also have the flyer. If you need more, there's some on the tables outside. Share them, post it, email your friends. Although I don't think we're going to have a problem. People have been receptive, and we had calls before the newsletter went out, and we've had calls since then, just confirming that it's still on. But this Saturday is the shredding event at the Masonic Lodge parking lot once again. Everything is in place. All the vendor's been confirmed. We've got all the insurance coverage taken care of, and I just need folks to be there to help greet and keep it flowing like we did last time.
Is it the same company we had last
Yeah.
time?
Yes.
That was great. They were,
Yeah, they were very good, easy to work with. I get them through Roy Strom, and they've been very good now.
and the Masonic Lodge was a great place to hold it.
Yeah, it turned out to be a great, great location. So please remember to come join us. I will be there a little early to set up, but the Masons are very good about already having it mapped out, so I think it should flow well. And once again, I've got some little items that I will include, you know, in a little bag to give away to those who come. Thank them for participating. All right. Then you see the radio players. This was just, we included the note that we got from them. These are their rehearsal schedule, and the third date in each month is hopefully going to be the performance. Again, we've told them that attendance has to be very limited, but I think that they're chopping at the bit to get involved and actually start performing, so. But I think we're a little bit aggressive about the spacing here, and I think we can fit a little bit more in, but we will keep it all social distanced. Okay. Any questions about any of that? Since that's one of our own programs, I don't consider that a rental, so that's what we're doing. All right. Then we are up to the warrants. And Trustee Drapka, would you please?
Yes, I
Present
make a
them.
motion that the board authorize and ratify payment of the bills identified in the general warrant, September 2020, in the amount of $21,940.63, as presented to the board today, Tuesday, the 8th of September, 2020.
Thank you. I have a motion, and did I hear a second from Trustee Clark? Okay, I have a motion and second to approve the general warrant for September 2020 in the total amount of $21,940.63. Clerk Blau, will you please call the roll?
Trustee Clark? Yes. Trustee Drapka?
Yes.
Trustee Lumfer?
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt?
Yes.
The motion's carried.
I'm sorry, I forgot to ask if there were any questions about any of those items. Okay, you may proceed.
I make a motion that the board ratify and authorize payment of the amounts indicated on the following warrants. The utility warrant in the amount of $1,453.54. The payroll warrant in the amount of $18,478.08. The health warrant in the amount of $1,250.77. The general assistance warrant in the amount of $2,000 even. Food pantry warrant in the amount of $301.04. All of the above is presented to the board today, the 8th of September.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay. I have a motion by Trustee Drapka and seconded by Trustee Clark to approve the following warrants. The utility warrant in the amount of $1,453.54. Payroll warrant in the amount of $18,478.08. Health warrant in the amount of $1,250.77. The general assistance warrant in the amount of $2,000 even. The food pantry warrant in the amount of $1,301.04. Are there any questions, comments? Hearing none, Clerk Blau, would you take the roll?
Trustee Clark?
Yes.
Trustee Drapka?
Yes.
Trustee Lupfer?
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt?
Yes,
Motion is carried.
thank you. All the financial reports are there as well. And with that, we have reached the end of our agenda.
I make a motion to adjourn this beautiful meeting.
I have a motion by Trustee Drapka to adjourn this meeting. Do I hear a second?
I will second it.
I have a motion and second by Trustee Lupfer to adjourn this meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Thank you and good night.